Thank you, Attorney General. Mayor Frey, you may begin for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Ranking Member Jayapal, Congresswoman Omar, members of this committee. We are so grateful to have you here today. Our ask is that you take the things that you have seen and you have heard from Minnesota, you bring them back to your respective districts. You talk to your colleagues that aren't here with us. You talk to both Democrats and Republicans about the unconstitutional violations that are happening in Minnesota and Minneapolis. And we put a stop to this because what we're seeing on our streets is unnecessary abuses of force. This is an invasion for the sake of creating chaos by our own federal government to interrupt the daily lives of tens of thousands of people. As the Attorney General said, this is not about safety. This is not about immigration. This is about sowing chaos on the streets of Minneapolis. This is about political retribution. And we in Minneapolis are suffering the brunt of it right now. Let me tell you what that looks like. It looks like businesses closing. It looks like people on the streets that are terrified to get picked up. It looks like United States citizens getting taken somewhere where they don't know where they are going nor when they are going to return to their families. It's families torn apart, it's schools closing, it's an unnecessary expense of taxpayer dollars just to try to keep order. If this were about order, there would be a simple way to restore it. And let me tell you a secret. It's not restored by additional federal agents. Order would be restored, and I will make this prediction, if those federal agents left. As soon as they leave, we will have peace, we will have safety, and order will be restored. Before the federal agents came here, our city was experiencing a brilliant comeback. Indeed, we were on the way to a renaissance. Safety had been improved, crime was down in virtually every category, in virtually every neighborhood. Thus far in 2026, last I checked, we had only had 4 shootings. 2 of them were ICE. An entire city of 435,000 people, 4 shootings, and 2 of them were ICE. It is clear that the practices that ICE is using is unconstitutional. They are not methodical. They are not well planned out. They have taken people out of their cars to detain them on major streets, left the car running, not in park. Car rolls down the streets. You don't need to be a genius to figure out that that is not safe. We've had small children that have been damaged by the inhalation of some form of gas. We've had loose dogs that were left unattended in the streets after ICE arrested and drove away with its owner. This is not making Minneapolis safer. This is not about safety. And I think the main message here is this is not sustainable. We have had tens of thousands of people in our city beautifully stand up for one another. They've showed this entire country who we are, how you love your neighbor, how you make a commitment to the greater good in society. And we have seen consistent unconstitutional practice by ICE discriminating only on the basis of are you Latino, are you Somali, and then indiscriminate pickups thereafter. People are walking around on the street with their passports. That's not American. That's the furthest thing from it. Please take back to your respective constituencies and your colleagues the message of if you love your own community, do not let this happen in ours.
Thank you, Mayor Frey. Mayor Herr, you're recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you. Friends, neighbors, and members of the United States Senate and House, welcome to our capital city of St. Paul, where we are a big city but a small community. I sit before you today, a newly sworn-in mayor of a city under siege by the federal government. Right now, federal law enforcement officers far outnumber local law enforcement officers in Minneapolis and St. Paul. The tragic effect of this occupation are rippling far and wide throughout our communities. Beyond the immediate and tragic human toll of rounding up our residents based on what they look and sound like, The economic impacts on our city are far-reaching and likely unquantifiable in the near term. St. Paul Public Schools need to close so that they can offer remote learning for students so that they can feel safe in their learning. We've received reports of federal law enforcement officers going door to door asking people where the Asian people live, right in our very own city. I myself have received advice to carry my passport with me because that they may try to target me based on what I look like as well. Our immigrant, refugee, and communities of color are hurting. I've been meeting with immigrant business owners to develop plans to throw them a lifeline and help them stay afloat. I've heard from them that some of their sales have dropped 60% if they're even able to stay open at all. They are relying on community networks and volunteers to secure their entrances and monitor their parking lots. It is draining their resources and ours. Our law enforcement officers are responding to incidents across our city in which residents are feeling threatened and having their rights violated. Car accidents caused by ICE agents, leaving physical injuries and hazards on our roadways. They have fired shots in our streets, and we've heard from citizens who were held in detention centers in a U.S. citizen section. Our residents are scared and confused by the number of agents in uniforms bearing the words police that do not behave or treat residents the way St. Paul police officers do. It is undermining the trust within our officers. If this were about safety, federal agents would be going after people who are truly a threat to our community. Instead, they are casting a wide net, scooping up residents who enrich our community, contribute to our economy, and make up the fabric of our cities and state, producing vibrancy for our communities. We are ground zero for Trump's war in America, a war on our democracy, on our freedoms, on our rights as Americans. It is in our backyard today, and it is only a matter of time before it is in yours. As congressional colleagues at the highest level of our federal government, we need you to act, to speak out, to elevate stories of what is happening to our residents. I was with my parents last night for an hour talking to them, and they told me they hadn't opened their blinds in days. They were afraid that their neighbors would tell them that that house was an Asian house. That my parents have both moved all of their hospital visits, their doctor's visits to remote or to virtual because they're afraid to leave their home. That is the America that we are living in right now, where people cannot access food, they cannot access healthcare, they cannot access their basic needs because of the terror, because our cities are under siege. We need your help, whatever it may be. We are standing united and strong, but we need immediate relief for our cities. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for lifting up what is happening in our city and our state. I yield back my time.
Thank you so much, Mayor Herr, and thank you all for your incredible strength and leadership. We appreciate you being here, and we'll excuse you to go back to all the things I know are before you.
Thank you.
I'd now like to invite up the witnesses for the second panel.